What's up, YouTube? It's OllieBeanz, and today we're going to be doing a Deltahub Carpio 2.0 review. The Carpio 2.0 by Deltahub is a wrist rest. And a small disclaimer, I did receive a small percentage off my purchase of the Carpio 2.0 from Deltahub in exchange for this review, but if you watch the whole thing, I think you'll see I'm not playing any favorites. Now, the Deltahub Carpio 2.0 is a great wrist rest, but it does suffer from one fatal flaw, at least in my usage. Let's find out what that is in this Deltahub Carpio 2.0 review. So I've suffered from wrist and arm pain related to an old injury for a while now. Working and gaming on my desk all day certainly doesn't help. And I've tried so many products and techniques to help alleviate the discomfort, and that search landed me on the Carpio 2.0 from Deltahub. Let's get rid of this grimy thing here. And I'll get into some of these later as well, but let's focus on the Carpio 2.0 from Deltahub. The Carpio 2.0 from Deltahub is a small, lightweight plastic wrist rest that has silicone padding on top and a PTFE Teflon gliders on the bottom. My Carpio 2.0 is the right-handed version, and it's a large. The Carpio 2.0 comes in large and small, as well as left-handed and right-handed variants. I only have my large right-handed Carpio 2.0 to test. It weighs exactly 20 grams. To put that into perspective, the G Pro Wireless from Logitech weighs 77 grams without the charging disc and 80 grams with the disc. So at only 20 grams, the Carpio 2.0 doesn't add much weight to your setup. That's definitely a plus. The dimensions of the Carpio are: width is 96.4 millimeters or 3.8 inches. The depth is 32.7 millimeters or 1.4 inches, and the height is 8.6 millimeters or 0.3 inches. So based on physical specs, it's small and lightweight and is not going to be obtrusive on your desk. But how does it work? Overall, I really like the idea behind the Carpio 2.0. It does what it's supposed to do, right? It's small, it's comfortable to rest your wrist on. This silicone padding is soft yet firm, and so it is comfortable, right? And it does align your wrist correctly, just like how something like this, or something like this, or something like this would do. And this thing is grimy. I use that thing almost every day. And so it does that well, right? Another small issue I had was when I'm using my G Pro Wireless like this, it skates very well. Same with this. This is even more slippery, right? But when I put the two together, I have to keep weight on the wrist rest in order to keep it moving with the mouse. And I did find that that added a small amount of drag. Now, that was something I was able to get used to, but even getting used to it, I did feel that I wasn't as fluid in my movements as I was just using the mouse. Now, my main gripe, though, and let me set the stage here, and this is something that I don't know how they're going to overcome, is when I'm using the mouse. And I write code for a living. I also game at night, so I'm using my mouse and keyboard combo a lot. And yes, a little flex on the Mr. Suit keyboard here. And so when I go to type and come back, I can find the mouse right. But right here even, you can see here, and this was just an example, my hand didn't hit correctly. And so this part here is actually hitting the nerve I'm trying to protect. Let me slide that over. It's actually hitting the nerve I'm trying to protect. And I couldn't get used to that. No matter how often, and I have pretty decent muscle memory. You know, I can type over 100 words per minute, touch typing pretty easily. I can find my mouse right away coming back and forth from the keyboard, but I couldn't find this consistently enough for it to not be a hindrance in my day-to-day workflow. And for that reason, I personally don't use the Carpio anymore. I use this $1 wrap for my wrist. Now here, this was also $1. I'm cheap. I'm a cheap bastard. And this is more expensive. I use this one when I sleep. And all I do is I take this, I slap it on my wrist, and it gives me that raise. You don't have to have it on the wrist itself. You're not actually hindering the movement of the wrist. You're literally just using it so it lifts up, so that this is creating that alignment for you. And so for me personally, this works much better. Now, if you're just a casual internet surfer or responding to emails, and even I do keep this on my desk still for if I'm cooking and I need to respond to a work email real quick and I'm coming back, I don't want to wrap this around, or my hands may be a little wet, I'll slap it on this so that way I'm not giving my wrist any stress when I don't have time to wrap this around my wrist. But overall, I am not using the Carpio 2.0 just because of that one flaw. Again, I really love the idea behind it, and I'm not sure if, strapping this in or something is feasible. I hope they take the feedback. And again, yeah, if you're a light internet surfer or just responding to emails and you're not sitting here, writing code or gaming or writing for a living, I'd recommend the Carpio 2.0, but otherwise I would go with something that can actually stay with your wrist, or a regular, type wrist rest like this or something. And there you have it. The Carpio 2.0 by Deltahub is a great, little product in theory, at least for me. Right? Let me know in the comments below if you have the Carpio or the Carpio 2.0, and if you're having that same issue of not quite being able to land on it consistently enough for it to not hinder your day-to-day workflow. And again, it's not that I'm missing it every time, but it's enough that I got frustrated with it and went back to one of my, older solutions. If you found this video helpful, please consider giving it a like, maybe even hit that subscribe button or that bell if you want to be notified when I put out new content. I'm OllieBeanz from iFreaking Love This. I'll see you in the next video. Be good to each other.